for us to scale effectively, we needed to leverage technology because technology allows for us to scale in a way that our value prop is maintained, unlike other value prop elements that are more personnel intensive.
All right, we're live. Thanks for coming back again. Today I've got Robert Lucido. He's out of Miami. He leads the Lucido group, and they're doing some amazing things. If you don't know who they are, just Google Lucido Group, and they'll dominate like the first few pages of Google. They're an avid Chime user, and today we're going to talk about how they've been able to build an amazing business, obviously through Chime as well. But Robert, you've got a message for us about focusing on why it's important to us to really think deeper as to why we're doing this and why you're doing this.
Sure. So first of all, if you guys pay attention to the research reports that NAR puts out, they put out one in September of last year, and 41% of realtors reported that in their top 4 challenges, one of which was keeping up with technology. Census Bureau actually asked the same survey and they came back with 48%. So if you're receptive to essentially agent feedback, you should be very mindful of the fact that roughly half of all agents are concerned about what technology will mean to their livelihood. We were actually ahead of the curve. We noticed this trend back in 2019. And so actually when COVID hit, we were pretty well positioned to go to a digital style of a go-to-market strategy. So back in 2019, basically we made the decision that we were going to commit to be tech-centric, tech-forward, that every aspect of our business was going to be enhanced by technology. And what that means is basically making our lives more efficient and more effective. But we also realized that for us to scale effectively, we needed to leverage technology because technology allows for us to scale in a way that our value prop is maintained, unlike other value prop elements that are more personnel intensive. So it's a lot more expensive for us to scale if we were leading with, a sole value prop around assistance or around client care or around, personal marketing managers. So by leading with technology, we were able to provide the same value across our whole organization at a much more efficient clip. So that's basically the why behind it. We saw the trends coming back from concerns from our agents, from agents outside of our organization. We had very little engagement and adoption back when we were on Boomtown. And so we made the determination that we were committed to being tech forward, tech centric, and whatever we needed to do to get to that end destination, we did that over the next year and a half. So that eventually meant we ripped out all of our old technology stack and replaced all the different elements. And Chime has been a massive component of that.
What are you looking forward to adding in the next few months now as the year is ending, as you're preparing for 2023 and 2024? What does that look like?
Well, first, we just hired a new VP of sales that's going to help us scale our ISA team across all of our locations. We're in 18 states and in Canada. So we have ISAs currently covering Maryland, DC, parts of Florida, parts of the West Coast, Central and Kansas and Missouri and Colorado, as well as up in Canada. But we have a lot of locations that still need that essential service. So one of the biggest values of this new enterprise product that we're on, that we had the privilege of helping, inform the roadmap on its development. One of the biggest values to it is how you can have a nationwide ISA program and do it very effectively.
With this ISA program and the new Chime that you're using for the enterprise product, is there anything on there that's different for, let's say, the enterprise that isn't there for the typical Chime user? That's like a single agent or maybe a smaller team. What does that look like on the enterprise level?
Well, first of all, it's very customizable, both in terms of the hierarchy as well as the permission profiles. So you have a lot of flexibility. So typically with enterprise products, a lot of them in our experience have forced the user to conform our business practice to the platform. In other words, it was cookie cuttery, and if we wanted to use it, we had to transition how we were doing our business. Chime has incredible customization built into the enterprise product. So we're able to maintain complete continuity of our business, our systems, our SOPs, and basically tailor the program around how we do that. So you can create custom permission profiles. You can assign specific. I mean, we have one permission profile. It's for one person in the company. That's very specific. What other platform can do that? At the same
That's
time,
awesome.
yeah, at the same time, um, because you're able to set permission profiles and assign them to the different users, if you make a change to the permission profile, it can make all those changes to however many users. So let's say if you're making an update to the permissions you have with agents. So let's say you're an enterprise, you have 400 agents, and you want to give them the ability to add custom landing pages. Instead of having to go and change those permissions on 400 agents, you make the change once. So it's very efficient, very effective. Another huge value, which is, outside of the differentials, is the fact that because of that, all the leads are essentially in one repository. So, with our previous CRM, you basically set up an instance per location. That's very expensive and it's not effective because you have leads that are in one pot and they can't cross over to the different pots. So one of the opportunities we identified was, we had leads, for example, that were coming into our team in Georgia that could have been served by our team in Florida. But because
Mm.
we didn't have a way to shift that lead to our Florida team, we were basically losing out on opportunities, which actually also inflates your CPL if you think about it, because these are wasted opportunities.
Yeah.
So with Chime's enterprise product, we've eliminated our wasteful opportunities because it comes in, we route by geography, and a lead is always, getting to an appropriate person. And we also have fail safes built into the process.
Are those fail safes partially AI? Like, are you using the full AI? How does that function on your team that's spread out everywhere?
Well, we do all of our digital marketing through Chime's ads team, which has been great.
Mhm.
One of the benefits of that is that Chime's AI engages for free. So we use our AI in two different ways: for our primary funnel coming through our digital marketing team, and then
Okay.
secondly, in off hours. So when we have no one on the floor, so say from 8 p.m. until 7 a.m., we have the
Hmm.
AI engage. And we've gotten real opportunities. We've converted real business from that AI engaging with leads at midnight, 1 a.m. And then our ISAs hit the floor the next day. They're following up with opportunities when they get on, and we convert them the next morning. So without the AI, because you know it more than anyone, the speed of lead is vital. So by getting that engagement, our ISAs not only have more intelligence to engage on, but we've also engaged them, overnight.
Dude, I love that. I think one of the things that we love about the AI is that it doesn't second guess. It just does its job. And a lot of agents I hear, well, a lead came through at midnight. Why the hell am I going to reach out to them? I'm like, because they're on. And every time they respond back. They respond
I mean,
back,
yeah,
get everything done. I see it every day. It's like, so that's
it's
why we love
yeah.
the AI. What do you think
It's
on that?
also it's also not a bot. All the other CRMs, they basically white label a bot. And so it's very cookie cuttery. It's very scripted, and you can very easily tell you're talking to a bot. It's like it also makes for a frustrating consumer experience. I actually had one the other day. I was on Google Contacts trying to do something, and I went into their bot, and it wasn't giving the answers I needed. I've seen Chime's AI have full-fledged conversations and actually add notes to the profile that made, inferences. And honestly, it blew me away because we would connect those dots, but you wouldn't think a computer would.
Yeah,
So it was something along the lines of like, I'm working until 5. The note was, call after 5 p.m., which seems like a simple inference, but there is an inference built in, which is that artificial intelligence. And so
that's
that's one
cool.
example of something that impressed me.
I like that a lot. Yeah, we love the AI on it. So on the tech side, what do you guys use the most as a bigger team here? Because you're running multiple teams in one all throughout the United States. What tech do you guys lean towards the most? Whether it's lead gen, nurturing, website, what does that look like?
So back up a little bit. All of our agents live on Chime. So that's their one. So we have a tech stack, but we've built out integrations so that they can do fundamentally everything from Chime. So we train them, we drive engagement on one platform. And because that we have these different integrations, they don't really have to leave or learn any other platforms because for all intents and purposes, they're doing it from Chime. In terms of what we're using the most, Chime has engagement tools, which I haven't seen any other CRM have them. So these are things like not only the valuation, home valuation, which pretty much everyone has now, but they have market reports, market snapshots. They have seller reports, which are reports you send to your active clients, your active listing clients. They have home reports, which is what you send to your former clients. So they have all these automated engagement tools that your agents can use to come off as the local market expert, provide value at no additional work. It's plug and play. You trigger the market report, it's specific to their local neighborhood, their local community, and then you can set the cadence. It'll go out monthly, quarterly, annually. And we have agents that are using that at a very high level. We have a brand new agent that, fully dove into Chime. She showed great initiative. She actually studied our smart plans, learned some of the strategy. She took it, personalized the smart plans. She's a new agent with us. She's already closed 2 deals through Chime. She put 2 more under contract last month. So by using these engagement tools, that's one of the things that we're really focused on, because at the end of the day, it's about how effectively can you capture leads, and then how effectively can you convert those leads. So if you conceptualize it into those 2 silos, how are you capturing leads and how are you converting them into business?
How do you solve for the back end issue? Like we currently use Sisu for tracking all numbers and making sure everything looks good and keeping people accountable. What do you guys use to connect with Chime?
Yeah, we have a business management platform that we have integrated as well, but we also use different systems. We use Chimes as well for the reporting. It's actually training our new VP of sales on that yesterday in terms of dials, connect rate, distribution of contact methods. So are we too heavy on text? Are we too heavy on email? There's also other AI softwares we're looking into integrating in terms of sales intelligence. So these are different technologies that will monitor the ISA's calls and look for different trends, look for different insights, look for objections that are coming up, week over week. Also analyze talk time, distribution between them and the client. So these are all kinds of things we're really pushing to a higher level to become more intelligent on how we conduct our business.
Got it. I love that. And when it comes to onboarding and then progressing an agent so that they have the best success on your team, what does that look like? Because, dude, you and I have hired a whole bunch of people, and I feel like I need to hire more and more because a lot of them are failing out. Some of that falls on me. I'll take that. But some of it also falls on the actual people that we hire. How do you have better success?
I actually love this question because it's essentially my passion project right now. So think about it this way, especially if anyone on this call is listening and is an enterprise or even a team that wants to be tech centric. If you want to lead with your value prop and that leading element is technology, you essentially have to behave like a technology company. A lot of times when we're in recruiting conversations, expansion conversations, we're so tech heavy in how we're communicating and essentially going through this recruiting process that we effectively have to behave almost like Chime sales team, because we have to be that proficient with the technology. It also means you have to be that proficient with the onboarding experience. So let me put it this way. Technology companies have things called aha moments, which are key milestones in their onboarding experience. Facebook's is to get to 7 friends in their first 10 days. They know from the data, if they can get someone to add 7 friends in their first 10 days, they will retain them as an active user. For Slack, it's a team to exchange 2,000 messages in their first month. If they can do that, they have a 93% retention rate.
Okay.
So my question is, what are your aha moments when you onboard an agent? If your onboarding experience is simply, here's your email, welcome to the team, best of luck, you're not doing your part to ensure mission success. That first week, that first month, that first quarter is the most, most vital part of that agent's career, because 87% of agents fail. So if you're going to invest resources into someone, if you're going to bring someone onto your team and have that be a reflection of your team culture, you want to make sure that you're investing those resources in a way that you're going to maximize that ROI. So that's an overarching view of how we're viewing an onboarding experience. These defined aha moments on the engagement, adoption, production side of things, as well as culture side of things, that will help that agent guide through that initial onboarding phase.
Is there anything specific that you guys do? For example, one of the things that we do there for higher retention, right, is we have the agents that come through, we have them export their database from their phone, right, into an Excel sheet, and then we categorize that Excel sheet and put it into Chime, and then there's a plan after that, right? That's one. Is there something like that you do that you're like, hey, these are the aha moments, right?
Yeah, well, if you think about it, so if you start a Facebook account, the first step one is to add friends. Step two is exactly what you just did, to find friends, where you can basically share your contact information so that they can say, hey, these people are also on Facebook. Why are they doing that? Because if you don't have any friends to connect with, there's no reason for you to come back to Facebook. Similarly with Chime, if they don't have any leads in their account, there's no reason for them to go back to Chime. So your focus needs to be get leads in there and teach them to hunt, so that they're bringing leads into the CRM and that they have a sense of ownership and pride because they have hunted and captured those leads. So that's one aspect right there to parlay off what you do. On the production side of things, we have 3 key milestones in their first year. The first one is obviously to get them into production within their first 4 months. Over the last year and a half, if we've had an agent that have hit our 3 key milestones, we have a 99% retention rate. In fact, the only agent that we've left, we helped self-select out because he started doing 1%ers. So other than that, we have 100% retention.
Dude, all right. What are the 3 key milestones? What are they?
Production in their first 4 months, at least 8 units in their first year, and then double in their second year.
Nice.
Double their income.
On your part, what is it that you focus on the onboarding part that makes that possible for them to achieve?
So first of all, we don't make it easy. If your standards are that low, you get what you tolerate. So my suggestion to you is don't set the foundation at the floor. Set it a level higher. Make them cut their teeth and prove that they're invested before you make that investment into them. So our onboarding experience basically does that in the first week. Is basically, from a company's perspective, identify the top 3 outcomes that you want someone to achieve if they make it through that first week. And furthermore, if they make it through that first week with those 3 outcomes, you're going to be better positioned to actually onboard them effectively thereafter. So that's number 1. Number 2 is don't make it easy. If they're not willing to stay committed for the first week, they're not going to stay committed for the next month, the next year, the next decade.
That's true. We've seen that, dude.
So that would be my advice there.
I like that. You're so right on the don't make it easy part, because the harder we make it for them to actually start receiving great leads, the processes and this whole systems to be able to convert at a higher level, we need to see that they're actually putting in the work and effort first for a few months. It's so key. Jay has a great question for you. Do you all use the lead pond for agents or ISAs? How do you use the lead pond if you do?
Depends. We're a heavy user of lead ponds. They actually just expanded the capacity at our request. We use lead ponds for both ISAs and agent, depending on the location and the use case. So for example, in one location, we have an ISA that works Monday through Friday from like 8 to 5. We don't have coverage on off hours or weekends. And so in addition to the AI, we also have set up a secondary lead routing rule that engages in off hours and weekends that'll push the leads in those time frames to an agent lead pond, where we have select agents that have demonstrated a higher sense of accountability and motivation and they get those opportunities on off hours and weekends.
Nice, man. I like that. So do you have a greater lead pond of all old leads that you kind of give out to those newer agents coming in, or does that lead pond in general belong to those higher converting agents?
So we no longer distribute leads directly to agents. We set hot appointments or appointment ready leads for them. So we don't give leads anymore. We give opportunities. So we have all of our cold leads correct in in different lead ponds where our ISAs are engaging them. Now we still do have leads that are in our essentially our legacy locations that don't have ISAs yet. So in those situations, we still have leads with individual agents directly, but we're in the process
Got
of
it.
transitioning that.
I like that, dude. What do you guys think you'll end up production wise between all of your teams all throughout the United States at the end of this year?
Well, last year we were at 1.2 billion. So we'll have to see what the market trends do. Right now, we've been basically holding our own of last year's trajectory. But we'll see what happens in the second half. Obviously, with the contraction with the overall market.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there.
Do you, to manage that many transactions, do you manage those all through the enterprise tech inside of Chime, or what specifically do you use to manage all of those and break down the commission checks and all of those things?
Yeah. So from an agent perspective, there's the integration link that's in the profile, and so what's most important about the integration is it needs to be effective and ease of use. So our agents will go into their Chime profile, and whenever they convert an opportunity, it becomes an opportunity or a transaction. They click the link, it pulls up a bridge page within Chime where they can create the transaction and fill out the form right there. And then our back office team will pick that up and they'll take care of the rest of the work. But what this does is an added advantage because it links that transaction with that lead profile. It's a one-to-one unique link. So that means that profile is always up to date. One of the biggest problems is database management because our sales cycle is so long, 7 to 11 years on average. And so 90% of clients say they would work with the agent again, but only 12% do. And that's because of the drop off that occurs over that 7 to 11 years. So you need to be laser focused on how you're maintaining your database, preventing your database decay, and how are you continuing to stay in touch with these people so they're repeat clients.
I love that, man. And so all of the agents that come in are going to be using Chime no matter what. That's their CRM, right? Any other, and all the tech you provide is free, right? It's not like you're upcharging everybody on the team for pieces of tech. It's like tech. I find that incredibly crazy that people would do that. Just provide everything for them and then expect them to succeed by exactly what you're doing. So you love the back end of this whole business. You like study data, you love analytics, you love looking at all the details. Where do you find that you gravitate most to when it comes to the back end of Chime? What attracts you to that?
So, so I take that data and I also pull it into different spreadsheets that I have built out. And so I have a holistic overview of our entire sales funnel in one snapshot. So, I love watching, the KPIs from step to step because a lot of people look at the conversion process. Well, first of all, I hate how it's conflated as lead gen. Lead gen is just generating a lead. That's just the start of the process. Typically, you've invested money. So at that point, you're in the hole. So what really matters
Just
is how
start in
you
the hole.
convert
That's right.
is how you convert the lead. And
Yeah.
so Chime has great lead capture. They have open house forums, they have text codes, they have landing pages. Any way you want to capture a lead, you can do that directly through Chime. But where Chime really cuts their teeth is on the conversion engine that they offer.
I agree.
And so we view our conversion process, as not as one step. In other words, we converted a lead to a closing. No, we have it broken out into, depending on how the different phases, 7 to 11 steps. So
Perfect.
we have initial phases on lead qualification. And then once we've qualified the lead on MQL, then it gets to our conversion funnel where we have 7 additional steps.
Dude, I love that. And you're going to be at the virtual summit we're having. So you'll
Correct.
break down everything a lot more. By the way, if you haven't signed up, sign up, guys. How do we get a hold of you, Robert, if we have questions or we want to dig deeper into anything, or if somebody's curious about joining the Lucido group, wherever they're from?
Yeah, I mean, we're expanding pretty aggressively, and
Yeah, you are, dude.
I'm
Great
putting
job,
it
by
in
the
the,
way.
thank you. I'm putting in the chat box right now. My email is robertlucido@lucidoglobal.com. You can also check out either of our websites, lucidoglobal.com, or if you're interested in having a conversation about, cutting years off your career development, you can go to lucidocareers.com.
I love that, man. And let me grab, now that we have this all here, let me grab the link to the virtual summit because you're going to be with us for a good chunk of that, which is going to be great. So let me put that in there. Sign up, grab the link, do me a favor. Also go to the lucidogroup.com. Ask Robert any questions. He's really open about helping you out and helping you grow. So this guy's doing this for free. And he's always super helpful with all the questions we have and all the questions Chime has as well for him. He's helped the back end of Chime just get better and better, by the way. You don't know the details, but I've heard it from Chime. They're like, damn, this guy's really good. So Robert, thank you for doing that. Dude, I know you're under the weather a little bit, so thank you. Extra thank you for that. All right.
My pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys all on the 9th. And if you shoot me an email with anything you want to know additionally, I can bring that on the 9th. And so we can dig into exactly what you want to hear.
Perfect. Perfect, dude. I love that. Thank you so much, man. Feel
You
better,
got
brother.
it. Take care. Thank you.